But
and here is how they got there. John Faulkner beating Kevin O'Connell, Anthony Lelouch, Gusen Chen, Frey Rutenshold, and David Lee in the quarterfinal. And yeah, I mean, it's an international field. He's defeated one after another. And his match with David Lee, the Oxford University physics PhD, was quite an interesting one.
Yeah, and his Simon's route to the semi-finals.
A couple of very big scalps there.
Yes, we mentioned before Rory Lithium, Paul Jackson, and then Peter Abella in the quarter-final. So both of them got plenty of experience now in this format, heads up, haven't they?
Is that an under race? I think it is, isn't it? If
Simon with an 8-9.
Yeah, you'll find Simon raising with that sort of hand, and John probably won't raise with that sort of hand. So see what John wants to do.
And you see he hadn't put in the minimum raise, which is double the big blind, or 6,000.
Here's the flop.
7, 9, 10.
Yeah, 2 spades. 9, 10 spades are out there, so a couple of possibilities here. Simon at the moment with a pair of 9s and a middle pin. Sorry, the up and down straight draw. And John says, no, I don't want to play this one. It's looking a bit too dangerous. Simon says, over here, please. Thank you.
And the dealer, Patricia, nearly gave the chips the wrong way, but Simon wasn't going to let that happen. And you're looking here at the prize money. The losers in this semi-final will take home 20,000 euros. The winner will go on to the final, where the runner-up gets 50,000 and the champion gets the first prize of 100,000 euro.
And also the title, partypoker.com World Heads Up Poker Champion 2005, which is probably
my brother-in-law's that.
High in the minds more than the money, because it is a prestigious title, isn't it?
Stick it somewhere.
But 100,000 euro is 100,000 euro.
But a title's a title. Oh dear. Where are we going with this one? Let's stop.
Yeah,
and 5. Let's go back to the
I'm sure
cards.
they'll be happy to have both. Pleased as punch. 5 and 7 in diamonds for John.
Well, he's 10 sitting in Simon's hand. So he may just say no. A bit more with this time. Yeah, he does.
Simon with the ace-10 bets. And John calls.
So John's got the position on him, but Simon's got the better hand, obviously. Simon will be first to speak when the flop comes out, and here is the flop.
Pair of 7s on the flop.
John bets his pair of 7s, and Simon says, I'll have a look with me 2 overcards. Here's the turn. It's an 8. It doesn't help Simon any really, but so John says, right, you've checked, I'm going to bet it again.
And Simon folds. So the second bet winning it for John Faulkner.
Yeah, he just called on the flop to keep him, stop John from putting a play on him. John wasn't putting a play on him, and Simon said, okay, now I realise you're not putting a play on me. You've got the hand, just take the pot, and that's what happened. John bet him again, and he took the pot. Simon will know this. Simon will know that John isn't really going to run too many plays by him. There's
a good look at the chips, the green and white 250s, the red 1000s, and the black 5000s. The Darth Vader of poker chips.
Oh dear. He's light years ahead with these jokes, isn't he? Really is.
Or lightsabers ahead.
Dear.
John Faulkner. Simon calls with a 10 and a deuce, and John Faulkner with an ace and a 3.
Fearless John Faulkner, he says he likes to be known as. Fearless John Faulkner.
So Burnley John is out, and Fearless Faulkner is in.
But he said I could mention Blackpool Rock as well, which is a kind of an in-joke up the northwest. So
Blackpool Rock is a large, sticky sugar candy.
I didn't think he meant it in that context, but okay. Oh dear, I hardly think he's large, sticky and sugary, but I'll leave that one with you, Mike. See, you still got your makeup on after the recent escapades up the Ramblas. Very nice, Mike. Going to be wearing it all day, are we?
No. Just while we're on camera.
Oh, thank you. We're off now, darling.
Those hot studio lights.
Well.
If it's good enough for Patricia, it's good enough for me.
I think it looks better on Patricia than you, I'm sure. Let's move on to hand 7 anyhow.
John Faulkner with an ace-king.
It's not a bad hand, is it, for John Faulkner, ace-king? On the button, he's looking, he's thinking, let's see what I can do with this.
And Jack-deuce suited for Simon Noab.
John raises it, And Simon's
going to re-raise, it looks like.
Okay, you call the plays then. I'll sit back. Only a madman with a dark horse will want to re-raise this one. But I'm not allowed to criticise you. It's all good fun. No, Simon won't re-raise him. He knows John too well. He's not going to re-raise him with them sort of hands. He'll play him. He'll certainly play him. Here's the flop.
There's a pair of jacks for Simon. They check back and forth.
Simon will probably bet if it comes a low card here. Nothing too scary.
Pair of fours. 5,000 the bet.
And John, to keep him straight, says, oh, you may be making a play at me. I'll take one off with you. Here's the river. 10 of hearts. No help for either hand. Let's see what Simon wants to do. May bet him again.
8,000. This 8,500 this time from Simon with jacks and fours.
Yeah, he's saying to John, I've got a hand now. See what John might. I don't know. He's saying I might have a look at this just to make sure, because he knows Simon's capable of running past him with a play.
He does call, and Simon shows the jacks. So he's got the 2 pair, and John Faulkner loses the bet.
Unfortunately, the rowdy element hasn't. The rowdy element, such as the gardeners and the rest of them, haven't quite arisen from the graves probably that they're lying in at the moment, have they?
They showed up last night to cheer Simon Noab on in his match against Peter Abella. Give it cheer. I used the word cheer loosely.
Yeah, loosely. But they'll probably turn up eventually. The drink wears off eventually, doesn't it? As we can testify to. No,
Queen 3 from Simon
3, yep.
Calls. Check from John with the King 9. Here's the flop. Queen Jack Deuce. Pair of queens for Simon. They check.
Turn card.
9 for John. Ted makes him a straight, but instead it's a second jack. So we've got jacks and queens, jacks and nines. John bets 3,000. Simon calls, and his queen's going to be good.
You're going to call them all like that, Mike? You don't need me. I'm going to sit in the sunshine a little while.
Feel free to make any comment on that.
No, it's poetry. It was black poetry, Mike. In fact, it was poker poetry. That's all I can say about that one.
Let's take a look at the flow of the chips, which in the last 10 hands have just moved slightly over to Simon Noab.
Yeah, it's meandering just like my analysis, isn't it? Just meandering over and over again. And whole chip flow river, and we're back with the next deal. And 11.
And John's already bored. Sorry, John. Didn't mean to wake you up.
John on the button.
John's on the button with an ace-king again. He's done this before.
What, looked at his cards or found ace-king?
Have found an ace-king. Looked at his cards and found an ace-king.
Ah, good. It's like déjà vu then. 8-9 for Simon, out on the big blind. 9 of spades, 8 of hearts.
7,500. Simon calls that, and you can see the odds on improving the hands, and it's really about a 60-40 shot. Not as bad as you might think, but just an 8-9. Especially when you turn over a 7 and a 10.
Yeah, we'll see how it pans out. He's picked up a draw, but he's not in brilliant shape. The turn will probably decide it. Notice there's a club sitting in John's hand.
And instead it's a second ace for John.
And Simon, if he wants to draw, is going to have to pay for it. So we'll see what decision he makes. clubs will be a bit airy for him, and also the ace now. He'll probably work out that John's got that ace, but he may